You know, spending half my childhood in the countryside gives you a very different perspective on a lot of different things. You know, you see different versions of racism. You know, inner city racism is very different to the racism that you might find out in the countryside. A lot of it is more ignorance than it is racism, and I've had conversations with a lot of different people about this. You know, just going, well, yeah, there is a difference just being fucking ignorant and generally just hating people because they are different to you. This is very different. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I know people, you know, people that don't want to sleep with certain races because they don't find them attractive, and that's fine. It's fine. Look, if you're black and you don't want to get with white girls, but I know you do. No, I'm joking. You know, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If you're a black girl and you don't want to get with me, that's absolutely fine. If you're a Pakistani girl and you don't want to get with the Chinese because you don't find them attractive, that's okay. It's absolutely fine. But if you don't want to get with them because of some nonsense, because I don't know, you think they're all devils or something like that, and you think they should be burned, then obviously you're an absolute spanner. You know, I'm trying to use my words carefully here. I'm trying not to swear. You know, you're a lunatic, and you need to reevaluate yourself. You know, that's the difference. That is the difference. I think everyone needs to chill out on that one for starters. But what you will get is you'll get, see his head here, casual racism. Now, I would call it more. We always use this as a joke, being in the countryside, going the home of this is going to make the place sound so bad. The place of like open pedophilia and casual racism, you know, and acceptable incest. These things do go on, by the way. It's not just, you know, I don't want to like slight the whole thing because there's beautiful people there and it's a wonderful life. Blah 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 blah. I love it, right? But like everywhere has its problems. I mean, it's got its fucking problems. Casual racism isn't the biggest one. The incest is. No, I joke. They're all fucking problems. But the point is that they'll say casually bad things. You used to get this all the time. And then you correct them and go, no, that's not cool. You know, it's just blah, blah, blah. Not one of these people who just punch someone in the face going, no, you can't say that. I'm not one of these people. I talk to people. I'm like, no, you can't say that. You know, just referring to Indians as the P word and stuff like that, just off the cuff. And I was like, yeah, don't say that. And they say, well, I'm not being racist, it's just what they're called. And you're like, well, no, it's not. It's like, and then you have to explain to them, like, all right. Do you know, because it's fucking ignorance at the end of the day. It's ignorance. So that's why I used to call it casual racism. But that's a bit different to what this is being said here. What I'm saying is people just say some ignorant shit. Everyone does. About everybody. All kinds of people. People are just fucking ignorant. Hence, why the fuck do you think I called this channel Knowledge and Ignorance? Why these videos all have a certain theme. Yeah? I'll explain. But here, this is by Sam Fan. Could be a good porn name. Casual racism is a fact of life for international students. They deserve better. So this is going to go into the plight of the international student. You know, spending a lot of time in Asia and walking around and being overtly called a foreigner quite often. I don't really have a problem with it. It's sort of expected when you're very different. But you know, it's just that's just my first take on it. The international students never mingle. Their English is terrible. I hate walking behind international students because they walk so slow. These are just a few of the phrases I've heard whilst I've been at university. Right? Their English is terrible. Well, it probably is. Yeah. My Thai's terrible. My girlfriend's English is terrible. it's a statement of fact. Does it mean that I despise them? Do I despise myself? No, not really. It's just kind of a statement. It's like, well, you know, probably shouldn't use the word terrible because, you know, it's like, it's not so good. Let's be a bit more tactful. It's not so good. You know, it's not so good. But you're trying. You know, they never mingle. Well, and I'll tell you, I've seen this example before about not mingling. Because they often put them together anyway, and like the universities, when they house them, like they'll put them all together because it sort of makes sense. They think it's fine. Although I've seen them put a lot of people together for more bizarre reasons before, but that's for another time, man. We ain't got time for that. They don't mingle. Well, some of them probably don't because they don't speak the language very well. Or they're culturally like, what? Do you know? I don't think that's necessarily, depends on the context of how it was said, doesn't it? And they walk so slow. Well, I don't know. That's just someone saying something. Who walks slow? You need to be a bit more specific. Maybe there are probably some slower walkers generally. You know, like certain nations are a bit like the Italians are a bit more in your face, a bit more touchy-feely. Like they'll talk to you this far away from your face. They've got different intimacy ranges. Same as like people who live in cities and people who live in the country. They have a different circumference of. There's a spatial awareness that's different. Do you know what I'm saying? So like people will generally be more comfortable. Like your comfort zone is like here in the city, but it's like here in the country. These are things. But I've never heard about walking though, so I don't know who are the slowest walkers out there. There's definitely not going to be any Africans because they are generally fast at everything. You know, just fast runners, aren't they? Like, I was surprised by the amount of subtle racism I encountered. I haven't seen any of that as racism, to be honest with you. We need to define what racism is, don't we? So I encountered when I arrived 3 years ago to a place that I thought was going to be liberal, inclusive, and universal. Well, you know, when you have such expectations, you're going to be disappointed. Yet racism towards international students is rarely acknowledged. Maybe because we haven't seen any examples of it yet. As a British Chinese person at university. Alright, so you're not Chinese. You're British. I quickly realised that people always assumed me to be an international student even though I grew up in Rugby, Warwickshire. Well, that's because, you know, unlike the black community, Indian community, Pakistani community, all the way down to, you know, you got like Greeks, Turks, and those are the sort of minorities that we're used to, sort of across the board. But Chinese is a very small minority in the UK. You know, we have Chinatown, you know, official. You know, like there's places that you call Banglatown or India Town because it's full of people from that race, but it's like not an official one. Whereas there is an official Chinatown because there's not that many Chinese. Not many. There's not many. There's not that many. Which may seem weird because there's fucking billions of them, but they're just not. So that's what I'd say to that. For example, I'm coming from this perspective. I'm just telling you, someone who's grown up around a lot of ignorant motherfuckers who I've had to correct, and also understanding things a lot better as a white person here, who's lived in a lot of different places, experienced a lot of different things. As a mature person, I'm telling you, this is what I know. And I probably know more than you, because I'm older, and you should respect the elders. Right. For example, one evening last year, I was taking out cash from an ATM. I heard from behind me, "Why is Jackie Chan taking so long?" I'd been there for a maximum of 20 seconds. Now, look, I'm going to make a little point about here. I used to experience now, when I used to be mad into drugs years ago, like mad on it, and you get a bit more mindful about how long people take at cash machines. And definitely around certain areas of South London, I don't want to bait up too much, I would be waiting behind. There are certain people, and they're usually foreign, who take fucking ages at cash machines. Do you know why? Probably because they don't understand what they're doing, because it's different to their cash machines. A bit like the experience that I have abroad, you know. Because, for example, going to a Thai cash machine, you got to click for English. Do you want this converted? Do you want to use our conversion rate or not the conversion rate? Always say no to their conversion rates. It's shit. You want this conversion rate. This will charge you this much. But you got to click more. You know, you got to click more. Which is something I realised. You know, and to be honest, look, I can see why people see the whole thing. Why is Jackie Chan taking so long? But it's kind of when you think about it, when you think about things more deeply, when you peel the layers away, you go, well, they sort of make a generalisation. Is it meant to be offensive? It's probably meant, you know, they're probably saying that to make someone laugh. It's like, oh, you can't say that. But is it offensive, really? When you boil it down, like, isn't Jackie Chan a fucking legend? You know? Do you know? Why would that be offensive? Do you know? Isn't it this? Think about it from another perspective. If you're American, right, you're a cash machine in China, and you hear someone, overhear someone, although you probably won't understand it because you're American and you don't bother learning other languages because that's the way you are. But say you were one of those open-minded Americans, and see what I did there? It's fine to make jokes like that. It's cool. It's fine. Someone behind you goes, why the fuck is George Clooney taking so long? Problem? Do you know? Although they probably meant it as an insult. But is there a problem? Nah, not really. But the student felt the need to say something that would highlight my race. I mean, that is it. That is a good point. That is a good point. But, you know, I don't think they meant to highlight your race. I think that the fact that it was already highlighted because they had eyes, I think they were just being, you know, ignorant. I don't think he was aware of his own racism or offensiveness. Well, you shouldn't have been offended. You really shouldn't be. And his intent probably wasn't to offend me, but to make the girl he was with laugh. Exactly. He's an ignorant fuck, and you shouldn't be offended. You just go, yeah, good one. That's what if I heard someone say that, I was going, yeah, good one, yeah. Like, you know, it's not even even if it was racist, it's not even funny, so therefore it's pointless. Do you know what I mean? At least make it funny. You know, God, if you're going to take the bullet, bring the joke. Yeah, this is a perfect example of how microaggressions... here we go. No. You shouldn't be affected by microaggressions. It shouldn't even be a thing. It's just makes people look very weak and feeble. It's not good. It's not good, because the lions are out there. Okay? Do not alert the lions. Work in our society and how they are still racially charged, even though my fellow student probably wasn't aware of how problematic he was being. His intent was to make a joke out of me by bringing me down in order to lift himself up. It's like, so that's people, they're pieces of shit, and they do it to everybody in all kinds of ways. If you had ginger hair and ginger finger, you had glasses, you would have been Harry Potter. You'd been in a wheelchair, you'd been Ironside, although they probably wouldn't get that reference. I can't think of anyone famous. Adi Akapan, Adi Akapan. You know, the black guy in the wheelchair is on TV. Something like that. If they're an asshole, it'll just be something about something. They'll find anything to just make a comment on. Fucking your shoes. It'd be anything like your shoes. You'd had long hair. It'd be some joke about you looking like a girl or a tranny. If you had medium-length hair, there'd be a joke. If you had real short hair, there'd be a joke. There's always something. And it's just, you know, you're Chinese. You know, it was a real obvious one. Now, maybe you should go around dressed really outlandishly and then, you know, dress like a complete idiot all the time and just see what happens. It might open your eyes. Anyway, historically, this is not a new story. A white male trying to make others feel inferior to make himself feel superior. All right, don't bring that shit into it, okay? All right. Don't be you blanketing me, Sonny Jim, okay? Don't do that. If you don't want it done, don't you do it to me. Do you understand? That's how this works. It's about mutual respect. You'll respect me for what comes out of my brain and out of my mouth. You might probably haven't liked what I've said, but you will fucking respect me and I'll fucking respect you. Do you understand me? Right. Anyway, not every home student is a racist, of course. Well, that's a relief. But it is a big enough problem that I've had being made to feel inferior or different in the country that I call home. International students often find themselves the butt of a joke because for home students, this new term, home students, this is very new to me, they are an easy target. English is usually a second language and their language abilities are often underestimated. Had the student at the ATM known I was also raised in Britain, would he have said the same thing out loud so confidently behind me? Probably not. No, because he's a twat. And their world is full of them. We need to stop giving them so much gravitas. It's just another twat. Like I said. You know, you could have bleached your hair and it would have gone, oh, look, fucking Annie Lennox. Having experienced the discrimination and prejudice that international students face, I feel it is time for us to acknowledge the importance of international students to our universities. They bring diversity, culture and knowledge, and not just to our universities, but to our economy, society as well. All right, the usual left-wing talking points, blah, 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 blah. We've heard enough of it. People are bored with it, so stop it. Now, look, you're young. You're 22. You're a graduate in languages at Sheffield University. Well, you're in Sheffield, for goodness sake, as well. I mean, it's hardly the most forward-thinking city in the world, is it? See what I did there? Just insulted Sheffield. Why? Because it's funny. Point is, son, you really haven't experienced much, have you? Let's face it. And also, you're not even an international student, so you're trying to speak for other people. But you haven't given any examples of the international students that you may have spoken to or how they feel about it, which makes me think, do you even talk to them yourself? Have you spoken to them and asked them about their opinions? If you feel it's such an important thing to write in The Guardian, why don't you go, talk to them? Because they are actual international students. Someone just mistook you once for being one, and you've heard these comments, which haven't been directed to you. You haven't really experienced much, okay? To be said, no one's going to... This doesn't, do you know what I mean? This is kind of nothingness, really, and that's how it should be viewed. Not to discredit how people feel about anything, but man, there's bigger fucking problems out there. Do you know what I mean? This is if I said this sort of thing to my mum, she'd be like, all right. Do you want me to wipe your ass as well, you little shit? Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man, calm it down. You haven't experienced that much. There's some genuine racist motherfuckers out there, and we should be highlighting them. But we don't. It's just little trivial things like this. Nothing in here is that terrible. And they say, oh, but you wouldn't know because when you got white skin, you wouldn't have experienced stuff. So I've experienced plenty of shit of people being ignorant fucks and saying hurtful things. Can you hear that, baby? It's doing my nut. I've experienced plenty of it, okay? You know nothing about me, Sonny Jim, okay? I've experienced plenty of bullshit. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've seen other people experience plenty of fucking bullshit because people are ignorant and they're cunts. And that's the way it is. Do you know what I mean? This is not a lot. Just saying, it's not. And the fact that we're highlighting it so much and making such a big deal out of it is really, it's dividing. It's not bringing people, none of this stuff is bringing people together. I don't like divisiveness like that. This is why I don't like certain people, whatever their causes are. Right? I'll listen to certain people's opinions and causes, but if I know someone's a divisive person, I've got a problem with it. I don't like divisiveness. All right? And I don't like being blanket labelled as much as you don't. Okay? This is exactly what I'd say to your face. So, I've got, well, probably haven't got enough money being a broke student to come see me, and I'm certainly not going to come see you. But if we ever meet, we'll talk. Anyway, loves and kisses.